Hello, folks. Welcome back to World War II TV and a bit of an impromptu message to you from me, the host, Paul Woodadge. So, things have been going very well on the channel. As you've noticed, we are in the middle of a week of general shows, done a couple of Normandy ones. We're back to Sicily and Operation Husky tonight. Tomorrow, back in Normandy. Next week is the Philippines. But I want to just do a little sort of housekeeping video, remind you about a few things that are coming up. First thing is, in October, from the 3rd to the 9th, World War II TV, we are running our second week-long Normandy tour. This is a tour that takes you through the D-Day sites, but more importantly, the inland battles. If you want to visit Normandy and come with me and Mag, it's a perfect way of doing so. The tour in April was very successful. I'll just show you a few of the photos. The tour won't go into much detail about it, but it was quite a lot of fun. This is me in Port-en-Bessin talking about the commandos on our commando day when we talk about British commandos and also the airborne forces. This is Mag giving a presentation in Saint-Lô. That's the cemetery there where there are civilians killed in the bombing. This is something you'll see on the tour. This is us down the Falaise Gap. This is the last full day of the tour. We see the tiger that's still there in Vimoutiers, having visited Moissy Ford and Saint-Lambert-Serdive and Chambois and all the sites associated with the Falaise Gap. These photos are not in order, folks. This is a group of our tour participants in Couvin. This is a village in the American hedgerow sector. This is part of what we call our terrain day. In the morning, we look at the terrain the British and Canadians faced sort of inland from Gold Beach around Audrieu, Bretteville, Lourgueilleuse, Norion-Bessin, and then later on we do a walk through the hedgerows, talk about the invention of a rhino hedgerow cutter, things like that, and finish in Saint-Lô. This photo here is also of us in Saint-Lô at the Chapelle de la Madeleine in the city, which is a great stop, a little private museum that we open up for our groups. This is one of our social evenings. This is in Bayeux, where this is towards the end of the week, where we sit and chat and talk about stuff and eat well and drink well. This is us down in Avranches. This is on our Operation Cobra Day. We are looking out towards Mont Saint-Michel. In fact, we're talking about Patton beginning the push into Brittany, although we've already been talking about Troy Middleton, the 8th Corps, Lawton Collins, and 7th Corps. I think the Cobra Day is my favorite day of the tour. This is us in Avranches. Again, this is the Patton Memorial on the Avranches Day. Great memorial. I mean, our lunch spot is just kind of in the back direction there, around behind those houses. We stop for a traditional French lunch. This is us at Lafayette Manor, back in the 82nd Airborne sector. So this is back to D-Day. We're having a visit to the manor house with the owners, one of whom is Helen Patton. Patton's granddaughter. Her foundation owns the manor, and we have it opened up for us to go in there and meet her and see what's going on there. This is me with the group in Coater's Draw on Omaha Beach. If you don't know what Coater's Draw is, come along on the show and you'll find out. It's one of the locations that is key to the breakouts from Omaha Beach. We spend one full day walking Omaha Beach. We do it from the above, we do it from below. It's another one of the brilliant days on the tour. This is us in a chateau. I will tell you exactly where it is when you do the tour, but this is all to do with Operation Cobra again. This is to do with the Germans and their response, the Allied bombing, another great part of the tour. Back in Omaha, this photo, this is me and the group there. Vida Snons, they're 60, an integral part of the tour. And if you notice, it's not a massive group. We aim for a maximum of 25 people. That way, there's plenty of time to chat to me, chat to Mag. The bus isn't too big, so we can get around narrow corners and narrow streets and get to some of the outer way places we want to go to. So it's not a massive tour. It's me and up to 24 guests, because I don't count. This is us in Tilly-sur-Seulles, looking at a memorial where the owner, after the war, engraved on local slate the red cap badges of all the different British regiments and indeed Canadian, and indeed there's some American units marked there that fought in the Battle of Normandy. That was another favorite stop for the tour guests. This is us at the American Cemetery. It's our final part day. We do the British Memorial at Vers-sur-Mer. We do a British and Commonwealth Cemetery. We do the American Cemetery overlooking Omaha Beach. So that's a little bit about our tour. If you're interested in our tour, you can contact me via my D-Day Historian website. The link is in the description below. Drop me a message through there and I'll send the details of it. If you can't make October this year, we've got another one running in April next year and October next year. We might even do something else outside of April and October. We don't know yet, but that's a bit about the Normandy tour. It's a tour I constructed myself. You won't get to see some of the very famous D-Day sites because I choose specifically to take you to places that you don't normally get to do. So it's a perfect trip if perhaps you've been to Normandy before, you've done the very main sites like Point du Hoc and things like that, Santa Maria Glees, and you want to go for a deeper dive. But if you are on a first visit, it does encompass a lot of the famous sites, although we don't do all of the 5 beaches. The focus, as I said a minute ago, is on the inland campaign, getting inland and getting you to Cobra, getting you to the Falaise Gap, etc., and understanding the terrain. So that's a bit about the Normandy tour. I say information is in the description below. Back to World War II TV. Well, before I talk about World War II TV, have you discovered World War I TV yet? That is a channel I started with Lucy Betteridge Dyson. The link again is in the description below. We did our first little flurry of shows a week or so ago. Michael Nyberg was a guest. Gary Sheffield was a guest. We are just planning our second flurry of shows, which will be coming your way in early August. We've got some great ones coming about Canada and its contribution to the First World War. The Battle of Passchendaele. You've all heard of Passchendaele, perhaps not the best movie. If you've seen the Passchendaele movie, it's a dreadful movie, but we'll talk about the real battle. That'll be with Dr. Spencer Jones. There's another show coming up about the commemoration of the First World War dead. We've got shows about South Africa in the First World War coming up. We want to tackle the Eastern Front. There will eventually be shows about Gallipoli, etc., etc. Again, the link to World War I TV is in the description below. I have been co-hosting the early shows, but as of April, Lucy Betteridge Dyson, my friend, my compadre, my mucker, will be carrying on more or less single-handedly, me joining every now and then when I feel there's a subject that I can add something to. But that is World War I TV. And if you don't think you're interested in World War I, it's exactly the channel for you. Reason being is we're trying to link the First World War to the Second World War. So understand how you can't understand the second without understanding the first. So that's World War I TV. Next comment is about how you can support my channel, World War II TV. There are various ways. The best way for me is to become a patron. So Patreon is the website where you can, it's based on the old idea of a rich benefactor patronizing a local sculptor or artist. So you give a donation each month and it helps me fund this channel because, as you know, I used to be a full-time tour guide. That was my income. That's how I paid the bills. I have since moved to more or less doing this full-time. I'd have to do it at some tours basically to pay the bills, but I would really, really like to move forward and just World War II TV be my main and pretty much only job moving forward. So if you enjoy what we do here, if you think what we're doing is creating a body of work that will be useful sort of even years from now, please consider becoming a patron. From as little as, it's the old cliche, from as little as the price of a coffee a month, you can help me and the channel grow. So the link to Patreon is in the description below, and then there are slightly more expensive donation levels if you want to give a bit of support. We of course realize that the majority of people who watch this channel will do so without paying anything at all, and that's fine. We are putting it on YouTube because we want this information to get out there. But if you think you can help, if you think you can give a little donation a month, then that would be gratefully received. There's a list of recent patrons running on the bottom of the screen there. These are people who've become a patron in the last few days. So Patreon is the best system for me in that it takes the least commission on the donation. If you don't like Patreon, if you don't like the system, if you feel uncomfortable using it, the other option is to become a YouTube channel member. So that is also in the description below. It's a much easier system. You get little emojis you can use in the comments. You get priority in the comments, things like that when we're doing a live show or afterwards. I still get the bulk of the money, but YouTube takes a rather heftier commission from that. If you think advertising is a revenue stream, it is, but it's tiny. The type of volume of hits I'm getting, you know, a few thousand per show, the money that comes in from advertising revenue is peanuts. And you may have seen me do that in a video before on Ask Me Anything, where I explained how I never choose to have adverts coming in my shows during midstream, meaning you watch some shows on YouTube for an hour long, and every 5 or 6 minutes an advert pops up. The option I select is for possibly an advert to play at the beginning, an advert to play at the end, but I do not select the option to have adverts playing in midstream, and I select the option that you can skip them. The reason for that is I want you to enjoy the history. I want you to not be interrupted every 5 minutes with an advert trying to sell you a delivery meal from home, or a VPN software, or I don't know, whatever else rubbish it tries to sell you, and not necessarily rubbish, possibly good products. I am turning down most offers I get for sponsorship because I do not feel they sit with what I want to do on World War II TV. I don't want to start each show with me talking for 2 minutes about a product I pretend I use just to get a few extra dollars coming in. And it can be quite a considerable donation coming in. I want you to enjoy the history. So what I'm doing is I'm asking you, if you feel you can, to either become a patron or a channel member. A few dollars each month from you to me helps me carry this forward, keep on doing it, continue doing the hours, and it is hours and hours I spend putting these shows together. If you wonder where that time goes, it's emailing people, it's setting up the schedule, it's making the graphics, it's preparing the YouTube listings, it's discussing with the historian what I'm going to discuss, what they're going to discuss, working out that it works out in conjunction with the other shows I'm doing that week. My preparation, so I'm not sounding like a complete idiot when I'm in, although I do sometimes sound like a complete idiot, etc., etc., etc. So that's one way: patronage or YouTube channel member. If you can't do either of those things, at least you can do is subscribe to the channel. You can like the shows you are watching, and you can leave a comment afterwards. We have a very fantastic sidebar during most of the shows. I love reading all your comments. We're getting so many questions now, we can't answer them all, which is fine. It just means we're getting more and more popular. But if you can't support me financially, what you can do is leave comments. So after a show is aired, say something like, "That was really good. It led me to read about this." That helps out because it helps with the algorithm. It helps my shows come up in the listings, because you've probably noticed, given the caliber of guests we're getting, which are pretty damn amazing, if you've read a book about World War II in the last 5 years, there's a fair chance I've had that guest on my channel. Some big hitters: Evan Thomas recently. We've had Alexandra Ritchie, John McManus comes on regularly. James Holland was on last week. These people come on there free. I don't pay them because I don't have the funds to pay them. They come on because they believe in what I do. They give their time free to talk to you. What you can do is share what we're doing. I'd love for World War II TV to start getting 5, 10,000, 15,000 views per show regularly. It means that the effort we're putting in is getting out to a wider audience, because you all know there's lots of rubbish on YouTube. There's lots of great channels: History Underground, History Explorer, it's the recent one with Rob, Wayfinder. My friend Jot is a fantastic channel. There's Chris from Vlogging Through History is creating some fantastic stuff. The other thing you can do, and someone just did it there, just what I want to do, is Brent just put a donation in. You can do that on the comment section. There's a help support World War II TV or something. It says and you can do an instant donation while you're watching a show back, but only if you're subscribed. That helps me out enormously. Perhaps you don't want to do a monthly contribution, perhaps you don't want to commit to do it, but maybe you've just had a bonus at work, maybe you've just won a few quid on the horses, I don't know. But if you've done that and you feel like bunging me a bit of cash, that's always really good. Just had a question about how Peter Caddick Adams is doing. He's doing much better. He will be at We Have Ways Festival in September. He's traveling out again. He's doing podcasts. He's doing shows. He's on the mend. Peter Caddick Adams has been on World War II TV a few times, and so and people are watching. Darren Little is a proud subscriber and a channel member. So Darren, fantastic. We will have to get you on as a guest one day and talk about your endless list of family members who pretty much won the Second World War single-handedly. Kudos to you, Darren, for what your family did. That's always good. The other thing I want to do about showing your support is just making people aware of it. Twitter has been traditionally, for World War II TV, the best method for me to make contact with historians and to advertise my shows. How long Twitter is going to stay with us, I don't know, because it's struggling a bit. Facebook doesn't do very well for me. Instagram, Mag actually runs the World War II TV Instagram account. I probably should put more effort into that, but I can't be in all places at all times. So basically, whatever medium you think, please share what we're doing. Beyond that, the last thing I've mentioned, Normandy, I've mentioned how you can help, is being friendly. I've said it a few times. I have appreciated the wonderful World War II TV community recently, because I lost my favorite cat, Spud, over the weekend. Now, some people don't understand pets. I think he's talking about his cat dying. Yes, I'm talking about my cat dying. It's really broken me. I'm not doing very well. He was my best mate, and the support I've received from some of you guys has been fantastic. Okay, it is a great community. I like to feel that when you're joining in a sidebar, watching a show live, it's like coming into a pub. Perhaps when you're first a new subscriber, you don't know anybody there, so you're a bit wary when you come in that pub, because you come in and you see there's conversations going on the tables, and you're not quite sure who knows who. But I like to think we're very welcoming on World War II TV, and people start saying hello to you and welcome to the board, and I want that to continue. With that, I have had to use the block or hide user function on YouTube. A particular user who slipped in a few weeks ago. About 2 out of 3 of his comments were positive about the shows, things he'd learned, but he had this tendency to drop in things like, this one was pathetic, this guy is ridiculous, and I don't like that. The guests who come on my channel are usually people I know. Sometimes they offer a counter view of history that isn't perhaps what is the conventional view, but calling their opinions pathetic, or because the one I blocked someone yesterday because I was doing a show where we were advertising the person's book. Well, like, what the hell? They're coming on my channel free, giving a story, giving a presentation about the book. In fact, going into more detail than in the book. And then and this person seemed to think that it was wrong that I was advertising their book. Well, you know, kind of fuck you, really. So people like that, I'm very quick to hide user, okay? Because if you can't come in here and be friendly, then don't come in at all. I'd rather not have your viewership if you're going to sling insults around and be negative about things. Far better, I think, this is my opinion, if you don't agree with the historian, if you don't like it, switch off, pick another show, go and have a calm down, walk in the garden, pet your cat. Don't necessarily leave a negative comment. I do not mind, however, constructive comments saying, I do not agree with this, and here's why I think, or people saying what they think is wrong. But don't just start slinging insults around like pathetic. It annoys me. It doesn't foster the spirit I want to have on World War II TV. So if you are a victim of me hiding your comments on YouTube, that's why. You've not been being very nice. And I stand by that. I'd rather have 99 nice people and block that one person who's a bit negative than keep on waking up and looking at comments and seeing someone being a bit snipey, a bit nasty, a bit aggressive. Go somewhere else. We're a community here. We like each other. History is fantastic. We like learning things, but it's and sometimes we don't agree with the opinion of a historian. But just be nice. Just say, okay, that's given me something else to think about. That's it. So I'm going to leave it with that because I want this show to be seen. So remember the things, everybody. So like the shows, subscribe to the shows, leave a comment after the show. Share with what we're doing on social media. Share it with your friends. Send them the links to the channel. Send it via Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, whatever system you use. Send the information out there. Consider becoming a patron. Consider becoming a YouTube channel member. If you don't want to become a patron, there's the Normandy tour in October or next April or next October if you're interested in doing that. If you have ideas for shows, that's another one that I always welcome. You can contact me through the World War II TV website. There's a contact form there, and suggest, in fact, not suggest ideas for shows, suggest guests, because ideas are great, but I need the guest to go with it. So, and I've had people suggest authors who died 30 years ago. That's all very well, but my Ouija board isn't working very well these days, and I've yet to be able to find a way of communicating with historians who've passed on. It'd be fantastic, wouldn't it, to bring on Sir Richard Holmes or John Keegan or Carlo d'Este, Martin Blumenson, some of these people, or even interview Field Marshal Montgomery himself. But alas, we haven't got the ability to talk to the dead, or at least I haven't. So try and limit it to authors who are alive. And also ones that probably aren't in their 90s because maybe they aren't quite as hot on YouTube. And also don't feel you can't recommend burgeoning, new, at the beginning of their career historians. Nothing pleases me more than bringing someone in on their first ever presentation. Holly Harris came in recently. It wasn't technically her first presentation. She'd done one at the San Diego Society of Military History Conference, but she's her first YouTube talk on World War II TV about the 8th Air Force and the prisoners of war that were taken out to the east, and it was fantastic. You don't have to be a published author to be on the channel. You have to just have to have studied it, be in the middle of your career. You're doing an MA, you're doing a degree, you're at a military staff college somewhere, whatever it is. And that's the last thing I was going to say is I want to make more contact with serving military and people who do those kind of staff ride trips around the world, people who are part of learning for current military. It's a market I haven't really broken into yet. Sasha over at Mother of Tanks, who does her Why We Fight series of podcasts, she's got great contacts with the serving, because she's serving herself, serving American military, American Air Force, Army, etc., and doing that. I'd like to make more inroads there so that people in these fields know about what we're doing on World War II TV. That would be really fantastic. Yeah, and as people are saying there, we had a few fresh faces, and the two guys from the from Malta Living History Group were new people. They were fantastic. Can we get to the bottom of the Michael Vickman mystery? What mystery? He was killed. That was it. It doesn't matter who got him. He's dead. He was killed on August the 8th, the beginning of Operation Total. Does it really matter whether it's Canadians or Brits who got him? No, not really. What matters is a nasty Nazi SS tank commander who believed in the bullshit he was fighting for about, the Third Reich being an Aryan super race. But he believed in all that bullshit, and he was killed by teamwork on August the 8th, 1944. It doesn't matter to me whether it was a British shell or a Canadian shell that killed him. The fact is he was dead, and everything he stood for died with him at the moment he was killed. So I'm going to leave it at that, really, because I'm rambling now. Don't forget, we are back tonight with a show. Steve Clay is on talking about the Big Red One in Operation Husky. So, Sicily, that, in fact, is our last Operation Husky show for this series. I probably will return to Sicily metaphorically in the future. I don't feel we covered everything. In fact, we definitely will, because I've got to do a show with Gavin Mortimer about the Paddy Main raid on the cliffs to go and knock out the Italian gun battery. He can't be available to be online over the summer because he can't. So he's going to come on sometime in the autumn to do that show. So I will revisit Sicily, as I will revisit Operation Avalanche, the invasion of Sicily. Italy, sorry. We'll do Salerno. We'll do some of that stuff later in the year, and we'll do more stuff in next year for the 80th anniversary of everything. 80th anniversary of Normandy and Bagration and the fighting in Italy and Burma and all sorts of stuff next year. But I'm gonna leave it at that. And this isn't an Ask Me Anything, so I won't be trying to do all your questions there. It's basically a plea to make sure you keep supporting the channel and share what we're doing, leave comments, and giving you information about the Normandy tour and, of course, World War I TV. That's it. I'm going to leave it with you. I will see you all again later with Steve Clay. That's in about 7 hours from now. This is Paul Woodadge for World War II TV saying I hope you've enjoyed this little impromptu a message, and don't forget that I'm always here to listen to what you have to say, for advice, for suggestions. But if you're going to leave comments, as I said before, just be nice, be friendly. Don't call people idiots. Don't call what we're doing here pathetic, because it gets me annoyed. So there we are. Thanks again for your comments about Spud. I missed the little bugger a lot. And Muffin, my other cat, is all kind of grieving and being weird, and we're coping with it together. But anyway, and then after the Philippines week, by the way, next week, taking a break for about 10 days on World War II TV, where I do my own summer stuff, and then we're going to be back hard and fast middle of August with a Pacific week. I know we're going to have shows about Guadalcanal. Trent Hone's coming back on to talk about the Solomon campaigns. Stan Fisher's coming on to talk about Carrier Doctrine. We have a fantastic show coming up about one of the other island hopping campaigns with Ryan Lowry. I'll let you all know about that later on. I said I'm going to cut. I'm going to end. I really am going to end now. See you, everybody. It's Paul Woodadge for World War II TV saying enjoy the rest of your day. Cheers. Bye.